Hello everyone. April the 17th. It's been a while. Yes, many things have been happening in these last 11 days, and also there were some personal challenges, and then there were days I really didn't feel like recording, so forgive me, but here I am again, and there's 4 days to go, and that is when Jupiter and Uranus will have their one time only conjunction for another 14 years, laying the foundations of that Jupiter-Uranus cycle, which is all about exciting new things, bringing them down to earth, making them real, giving real nourishment to that Uranian energy, which wants to descend, come down into this reality and express itself. And naturally, that is regardless, all different levels, all different colors of that Uranus Jupiter energy. So, from the extreme spectrum of AI up to the other side of bringing down new technology and also seeding that great idea of the new world, a new way of living together. That's the main thing about Aquarius. So super exciting, and as we speak we are having a very busy sun. As you see, this is right now the present picture. This sunspot has a potential for X flares rolling into Earth's direction over the next week or so. So bear in mind, this might be the spot where we will see a large solar flare, probably around the 21st of April, in 4 days. This has been happening now since pretty much the beginning of the year. Each time when we had remarkable, outstanding beginnings or alignments planetarily, there were X-class flares, which are the highest of the 3 levels of measuring super big solar flares, which energize Earth and the whole aura around Earth. Our personal field gets energized. We get a special boost of additional frequency energy, and what we make out of it is naturally our choice, and that's where we are really going. Jupiter Uranus is also personal freedom. This is one of the big themes. From dependency, in that sense, the Taurian theme comes there into as well. Just wanted to quickly show you a little flashback. This was just posted the other day on Space Weather. This is the shift of frequency in the radio communication of the American time signal. So this station keeps record very exactly of their frequency of broadcasting, and you see around the solar eclipse the frequency shifted from plus 1 to minus 1 hertz, which seems small, minor, but in the bigger picture, if you really understand how important that median is, then this is definitely a very clear signature of the solar eclipse. As I often say, that's a moment of imbalance. Yes, that's exactly what it is. The sun has been blocked out by the moon. The moon becomes, so to say, the agent to pass on solar frequency. You can think of the moon being transparent naturally to the energy of the sun to some degree, not of all. Some will be absorbed and transformed into lunar frequencies. So it is that imbalance which is definitely leaving a deep imprint. This was a super powerful solar eclipse. I was lucky enough to be in the path of totality, actually exactly where it came into the North American continent, in near Mazatlan, I should say, in Mexico. I might do another video on that if I find the time. It's been really too many things happening, so I might have to skip that one, but I just wanted to mention it. It was a super exciting, super powerful experience. Here you have again that graph. Anyway, I want to keep going here. A few more things. Today is the 11th day of this present 13-day cycle in the Mayan calendar, which started with the eclipse on 1 Oct, the loyal heart, which gave the theme of this whole eclipse, which is the 20th degree of Aries, where it was in the 20th degree of Aries. Let me look it up once more. I thought I had it here noted, but it is setting the pace really for these next 6 months, I would say, which is a young girl feeding birds in winter. A very, very beautiful symbol here again out of the Sabian symbols. Overcoming crisis through compassion. Crisis, okay, keep that word in mind. Shows up again exactly the same word, overcoming crisis, in the degree where the Jupiter and Uranus meeting will take place, which will be the 21st of Taurus. Now listen to that, and we will go back to this. So white, it's actually the 22nd degree of Taurus, a white dove flying over troubled waters, and the keynote is the spiritual inspiration that comes to the individual in the overcoming of crisis. Okay, well, we are already in a crisis. I guess pretty much everyone knows that. However, expect the crisis to increase. First it gets worse before it gets better. It's kind of just the way it goes. We have to accept that it is the build up, and is what also will bring many people to a realization that they have to live their own personal truth. They have to find their own inner compass, their true north. This is the time we are definitely called to put that question very, very big on our walls. Who do I serve? Who do I hold as my highest authority? Is it some artificial, some whatever government or whatnot agency, or is it nature? And nature means being true to yourself, being true to the bones, to your beliefs, to your passions. This is the time, and it is super important, because this is kind of the dividing line. Either you will make it or you're not making it. And I don't mean in the sense of really completely failing, but just not able to take that big step into the new dimension, and therefore whatever that is, you will then return to, in whatever ways, back to the starting point, to redo the whole cycle, to come back to the place where you have that chance of a quantum leap. So it's really, that's where we are going. If we are taking that risk of being totally ourselves these days, it's totally paying out. And we get all the support from the cosmos, Oak, the loyal heart, and the little girl in winter feeding the birds. All the help, all the support from the spiritual plane is here. It's also in the 16th degree of Aries, where the nodes is, which is the nature spirits, are here really at work. We can almost sense them. It is a symphony around us, which ever gets louder, and in that frequency, all the what is not really attuned eventually will be disappearing. That's as simple as that, because it cannot sustain that high frequency. Okay, so let's stay with the Mayan calendar here for a moment. I guess I will make a separate video on the astrology. Just, I think it's a good way to kind of split it down a bit so you don't get overloaded. So today, Ahau, the solar lord, the 17th of April, the 18th, the 19th, the 20, okay, let me get that right. 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, I'm getting okay, maybe I'm wrong here. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Here I have the calendar. Yes, I wrote it in. Yes, the 21st. Okay, I am a bit mistaken here. So right, today's already the 18th. That is what confuses me. I'm here on the date line. It's still the 17th, literally here where I am, which is the 10 Kawak day. And actually, as you are listening to this, most likely it's the 11th. It's 11 Ahau. The 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st will be the one Akbal, when we are literally changing into another dimension. Sure, it's not to be understood too literal, but that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is the highlight of 2024. It synchronizes with the comet being closest to Earth within an hour, and it also synchronizes with the new world chart, which is July the 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence. Then Rudyard has been promoting that chart, and it totally works. We will look at it in the other video. I will show you the chart. I just think this is good to give you a bit of an introduction, and then I will focus more on truly the astrology. Here I give you the kind of bigger picture first. So all happening on the 21st, and the final part will be the Juno station, Juno turning forward again, which is really the people starting to bond on a much more profound level with one another. It is that more and more we are, the boundaries are breaking down. I guess that's what it is. We are feeling one another, and we are becoming more aware of each other's difficulties and pains and whatnot. So empathy will grow. And these are really the three things which matter. The first one is love. Love yourself and love everything else. Bring that frequency of love down to this planet. Then enjoy being in that state. Bring the joy in. Do whatever brings joy. And out of that combination, naturally, compassion is the outcome. You cannot be other than that. Once you are experiencing love and joy, then compassion is the natural companion, and this is really what is bringing the big change when we are literally flushing out all these denser frequencies. So these will be the 13 days of Akbal, and then on May the 4th, okay, let me see, that is here, 21st. On May the 4th, okay, this is another big day. Actually, it's the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th in a row. On the 2nd, that would be the day 11 Ben, the spectral Skywalker, pillars of light, a very powerful day of standing in one's own power. Pluto changes direction, maximizing in that sense in the zodiacal longitude, and then going backwards for the next 5 months. So this is when literally we are stopping to focus so much on the outer dimensions and truly start mutating within our own energy field. It is retrograde planets, particularly the transpersonal ones, are deeply transformative, and these are times when we can go so deep into the roots of what needs to be changed, and then literally everything will follow suit. So on the 2nd, this will be Pluto changing direction. We will look at that chart too. Then there will be a Saturn occultation, a Neptune occultation, and a Mars occultation. Actually, it will be, let me get that straight. Okay. So actually, it will be on the 12th day, 12-ish, when Pluto turns direct. Ish is the wisdom of the shaman, the jaguar. Yes, maybe even more suiting of being in the mode of a deep transformation. Saturn occultation, which means the moon will be hiding Saturn shining through the moon, bringing in that Saturn energy into the real emotional realm. Neptune occultation a day after, and Mars occultation, this is really rare, just on the 5th then of May, and this will be the true activation of the Martian energy. This will be in the 1st degrees of Aries, then I guess it's the 4th degree of Aries, where Mars and the moon will meet. Actually, I haven't looked up that degree. I quickly will, because this looks like when things really start making moves in the outer world, when the inner energy has solidified to that point where triggers are going off left, right and center, where things are really starting to roll. Two lovers strolling on a secluded walk, that's the 4th degree of Aries. The progressive polarization of energies needed for fulfilling one's life's function. Okay, polarization, I guess that is an interesting word as such. Let's see what else he says here. In order to respond fully to the potentialities released by a sense of identification with a greater whole, the human being should be himself whole. Beautiful. Well, I guess it's really as without, so within. An interplay of bipolar energies is needed to provide a sustained and dynamic resonance to any superior and encompassing form of life. This may imply a temporary withdrawal from routine activities, and I bet that is what probably will happen in May, that things will really go to a place where an interception comes naturally, because probably many things will be not working anymore. I'm expecting some bigger solar flares, for example, which eventually could trigger bigger earthquakes, earth changes, definitely in the cards for the next 2-3 months, I would say, to the end of June. It's a very, very dynamic time. I said it long ago. This Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and then consequently when Mercury turns direct and when Pluto turns inward. After these occultations, May 5th is probably a critical day of activation. Mars being fully absorbed by the moon. Occultations happen rarely, I should say. That means that the moon comes into the path of planets by average about 2 a year, 2 to 3 a year with personal planets. And I guess these are the only ones. Let me actually show you. I have it here. See, these are all the occultations starting January the 8th. Neptune has a few, then Mercury in March there was one, and here you see it, 3 occultations within 3 days. The 3rd Saturn, the 4th Neptune, the 5th Mars. And just to give you the full picture, you see that's the rest of the year. So it's really a high point in that sense of bringing down, anchoring these planetary energies through the moon, making them really experiential so we can feel them from within, and that's what is necessary. Now, Saturn and Neptune together is a good mix. It is making the invisible visible, tying it down, bringing it into this frequency band, making it apparent. We have to first see what we are dealing with. That's kind of what that is. And then Mars, this is the activator naturally in Aries. Dominant, powerful, very sacred, masculine energy coming in. Yes, being in that mode of what we just looked at before. And then on the 17th of May, we're entering the warrior cycle, and the 17th of May again is a powerful day. And this chart I want to show you. This is the last one I have here lined up. Actually, here, yes, I wanted to show you this. You see here, you see it. This is the Mars occultation, the 4th degree of Aries. Now, this is the Saturn, Mars-Saturn conjunction in heliocentric, which starts a whole new cycle of Mars and Saturn. When they are together, they are really the energy of the boss, of the father's voice, who says this is the way it goes and no other way. You're doing it because it is good for you. That's kind of the authority Mars and Saturn have together. Also the general is a way of getting an idea of what that is. It is can be very controlling and harsh. In the best way, it is that kind of more mature voice of this is the right way to go, this is what has to be done. Very methodical to Mars and Saturn at best. So interesting, this is the 13th degree of Pisces, where these two meet, and this 13th degree of Pisces, I guess, let me see which chart it was. Yeah, there's many charts here which I want to get into in my astrological overview. Okay, giving you a little preview here. This is the chart I wanna go back to here at the end of this little intro. The New World, again, that 4th of July 1776 chart, which laid the foundation ideologically for a new humanity with that brilliant declaration, those wonderful, that wonderful constitution. That was when the foundations were laid for it. Those ideals which grew out of the French Revolution first, I guess, fraternité, liberté et égalité. freedom, brotherhood, and equalness. Everybody has the same value, the same status. There's no hierarchies anymore in the new world. Yes, everybody plays a different role according to their skills, according to their passions, according to what they love doing. But overall, we are all the same, regardless if you cook or if you are cleaning the toilet. It is the same work, the same value of work, or if you're a dentist or if you're whatever. It's all the same. We are contributing to society, to each other. And then when that abundance really comes, which is already here, it's just prevented once we are allowed to have unlimited energy. I guess that's really the word I want to use here, unlimited energy, because we have the free energy devices. There will be in everybody's house a little black box where you produce all the energy you need in your house. Quantum energy, harnessing the energy locked in space, literally. When energy is abundant, then everything is abundant. You can turn the desert green, then you can do anything you want, and it will be really the beginning of a whole new era. Yes, there's a transition from here to there, but that's where we are going. So this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is really setting the tone, and it will be fabulous. Yes, a little bit of a difficult passage first, but if you know whom you're answering to, who is your inner authority, who is your North Star, is it nature or is it an artificial system which is about to go down? This is the question. It will be amazing. And wait for my astrological one. I give you lots of synchronicities there of how things are lining up. Very, very auspicious. Thank you for listening, and see you in my next one. Love you all. Let's see, I guess I have to go back to that screen here.